Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about what if I was in My Hero Academia. So, after Hajime, or in this case me, which is what I'm called in this universe, after I was told that I'm finally gonna go to Class 1A, aka UA, I made it there with my brother, aka my daughter Bakugo. As when we get there, we meet up with our brand new classmates, including well, the girl by the name of Momoya Rozu, and also my childhood friend, Jiro. After we meet up with Mineta, which Mineta was an asshole and trying to peek on the girls, Hajime almost killed him because, he hates perverts. But he decided to restrain him and so just let him live. But the next day, he was expelled for being not as powerful or not having the potential to become a hero. And so he was replaced by Kendo, which is the other ship for Izuku. Not Izuku, I meant Hajime, god damn it. Anyway, so after that, we moved on to the next day, where the next day was the Heroes vs. Villain challenge was starting. And we showed off not Izuku, I meant Hajime, god damn it! I meant Hajime's hero costume, or Phantom Thief costume, because after all, he does have personas, being Onway and Adonius, being this guy with the flaming face, and Onway with the almost knight aesthetic, or at least kind of knight aesthetic. So, after Hajime was paired up with Momo, they fight against, both, both Jiro and I can't remember the character's name, and after defeating them, they won that, match or test. And so, that was basically the end of that episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, during class, they were told that they're going to be going to the USJ, which everybody was excited, including Hajime, because Hajime wants to have some, training, so he can become a great hero. And so, they were told to go onto the bus, where they started going to the USJ. Everybody started asking, each other about their quirks, until we get to Hajime. Hajime explains that his quirk is, a bit special. It seems to be, activated when he has, a near-death experience or somebody's in trouble, as they think it's probably a pretty heroic quirk. As he said this as well. Before I actually got in my quirk, I heard this voice or something. They would say something about, the river of thy soul or something. As one of them would say this, "Whoa, that actually sounds like magic than anything else." As Ida would say this, "I mean, you're kind of right, but still, maybe it's probably a sentient quirk." As he says this, "Doubt it. And besides, if it were to be a sentient quirk, why are my personas, not moving or anything like that?" As one of them would say this, being Ochako, "Why did you call them personas?" As he says this, I don't know, it just felt right to call them that." As they hear the sound of Aizawa saying, "Alright, we're here, get out, okay?" And so, everybody started getting out, as they were told to go into the USJ with 13. As 13 explains, just like in the anime, about how quirks can be dangerous or good if they want to become heroes or villains. As when they were looking around, they see a portal open. As, instead of Shigaraki, they see a womanly figure. This womanly figure seems to be wearing a mask. The mask resembles a rabbit? Bunny? Or whatever it is. She seems to be wearing a black jacket with the symbol of All Might, but with a circle around it, and, an X. As she's wielding two knives, as she seems to have the hair seems to be obscured, but everybody can tell that it's probably either green or black in hair. As Hajime would look, well, concerned because she kind of looks like, well, a older version of his old friend, Izumi, aka the Izuku of this universe, which I told all of you guys that Izumi is basically Izuku, but a girl in this universe. As she would say this, "It's nice to meet all of you. We are the League of Villains and we're here to kill All Might. And you damn fake heroes. You call yourselves heroes. It makes me sick that I had to, fight you. Damn. Now, it's time for you to all die. Konigiri, rip them apart." As he says this, "Right, mistress." As he starts teleporting everybody, including Hajime and Bakugo, into their respective areas. And so, in this case, Hajime and Bakugo were brought to, instead of what do you call it? The quirk area for the underwater quirk users. Instead, it's a area for, well, earth-based or land-based quirk users. And so, everybody that's there, including Bakugo and Hajime, and also three other people, being Kendo, Momo, and Jiro. As Jiro would say this, "Izuku, are you okay?" As, well, Kendo would say this, "Hey, Bakugo, are you okay?" As he would say this, "Don't talk to me extra. Hey, bro, are you okay?" As he would say this, being Hajime, "I'm okay, but ow, that hurt." As they would see the villain that was commanding that man, the man that seems to have a teleportation quirk. As she drops down to the ground, as she looks at everybody, as she would say this, "Oh, it's been a long time." "Well, Hajime, it's been a long time. So, how's you and your pathetic piece of shit brother, Kachan, been doing?" As, well, Hajime would say this, "No way, you're..." As she would say this, "Yes, that's right." As she takes off her mask, "It's me, Izumi-chan, your old friend. So, instead of killing you outright, I want to have a proposition for you." As everybody would say this, "Hey, Izuku, do you know her?" As for, well, Bakugo, Bakugo would feel angry at himself, but also seems terrified. As she would say this, "I want to have a proposition for you, Hajime. After all, you were my best friend. The only person that actually cared for me and loved me. Unlike those that are like Bakugo, who just ridiculed me just because I'm quirkless. So, I have a proposition for you." As she puts out her hand, as she seems to look like she wants to, shake hands, as she says this, "I want you to join the League of Villains. After all, you want to become a hero of justice, then become a hero of justice for me, and the rest of these quote-unquote villains that were ridiculed, disgraced, even called monsters just because of our quirks, or even becoming quirkless. So, will you join me, Hajime, my only friend?" As Hajime would say this, "No." As she would say this, "What? Why? Why are you doing this?" As he would say this, "I want to become a hero, but not doing this crap. I want to save everybody, but not doing this." As she would say this, being Izumi, "You're just like all the others. Corrupt. but I'll try and help you out. But not you, Bakugo. After all, you did say, and I quote, "Jump off the roof." As everybody would hear this, including, well, Momo, Kendo, and Jiro, they would say this, "Bakugo, you said that? I mean, we thought that you were a bad guy, but still." As he would say this, "Ugh, whatever. Let's take down this villain already." As Izuku would summon out, not Izuku, I meant Hajime, god damn it. Hajime would summon out his persona, Adonius, as she would say this, "So, it's been a long time, Adonius. Your persona or whatever. Well then, allow me what I have learned. What I have learned from working under Master." As she seems to have teleported, like she was so fast. As she teleports right behind Hajime, as she would pin him to the ground, as everybody starts charging towards her, as she would say this, "Just kneel down." As everybody started feeling like their bodies were not in control of themselves, as everybody started kneeling down to the ground, as she would say this, "So what do you think of my multiple quirks? My first quirk is called Spatial Domination. It allows me to teleport between areas like Konigiri, but it's much more stronger, much more elegant, to say the least. My second quirk is called, wait for a second, Dominator's Touch. It allows me to control people, just in case if a person decides to, try and kill me. And my final quirk is called Quirk Sight. So, let me see what your quirk is actually like." As she would look into Hajime's eyes, as she would see nothing. Like, he doesn't have a quirk. As she would say this to herself, "What? How is this possible? He clearly has a quirk. Like, is he really quirkless? Or is it my quirk being modified or something?" As she would try to use it on, Bakugo, as she sees that it's, his typical quirk, Explosion, explaining everything. But when she looks back at the Hajime, it says nothing. As she would try harder and harder, trying to find out his quirk's weaknesses by using, Quirk Sight. But it doesn't work. As she would say this to herself, So, Izukun seems to, not Izukun, god damn it, I meant Hajime has a weird ability. If it's not a quirk, then what is it? As she decides to get off him, as she says this, "Now, kneel." As Hajime would kneel before her, as she would say this, "I'm giving you one more chance, Hajime. Will you join me in changing this pathetic world, this world of quirks being the dominant? I want to make a world of equality, not this inequality for both quirk users that are called monsters, villains, and weak, and for those that are quirkless. I will free them. I will keep them out of their pain. I will bring them salvation. So will you join me, or just decide to just work with these damn fake heroes?" As he would say this, "I will not join you, even though you're my best friend, and even my crush back in the day, but you've changed. I will not join your..." He feels like his entire body was being ripped apart, as she would say this, "Fine then." As she would leave, as she says this, I will not kill you for now, but when I come back, and when we meet again, we are enemies. Nothing more, nothing less. So, see ya. As she disappears, like she teleported. It's probably her spatial domination quirk. And so, everybody was, well, moving again, like they're back in control. As Baku would say this, how the hell did that nerd get that type of power? Ugh, it felt painful. As Hajime would say this, I can't believe it. She's still alive. He feels confused and angry at the same time, but still confused. So, he just decides to look around, as he would tell everybody to start following him, because it seems that something is happening. As they would see something in the corner of their eye, a fight between, well, Aizawa and this thing that looks like a mix of a man-bird hybrid, but it has an exposed brain and muscles. As, well, Aizawa was being pummeled to the ground, like he's nothing more than a rag doll. He would scream out in pain, saying, "God damn it!" Like, he started screaming out in pain, saying, "Somebody help me." As one of them would say this, "Hey, big and ugly, what are you doing?" As he would look at everybody, seeing, well, those people being, well, wait for a second, being Hajime, Momo, Kendo, Jiro, and Bakugo, as, well, as they see, like, Izumi looming over them with Konagiri, as she would say this, "Alright, Nomu, I don't want any of them to be killed, except for one, Bakugo Katsuki. I want you to rip them apart, tear him, rip him apart. I don't care, just kill him. I want him to suffer like I suffered." As the Nomu starts charging in at Bakugo, as Bakugo would say, "Dab, dab, dab!" As Hajime, goddammit. As Hajime would summon, Anwei. As, well, wait for a second, something happened. As Izumi would say this, "Whoa, I didn't know he was able to use another persona, or at least whatever that quirk is." As he would say this, "Now take this," as he would bring out his gun and start shooting at him. As the Nobu starts getting thrown several bullets at his face, but it keeps regenerating. As she would say this, "Oops, sorry, but unfortunately it has rapid regeneration, shock absorption, shock absorption, and finally, super strength. So there's no way of you fighting and defeating it. So, sorry," as Hajime would think, as he would decide on using this. As he would summon out Anwei again, as Anwei was told to create a blast of pure ice. This pure ice was dark in color than normal ice, which freezes the solid, as he would bring out his gun and start shooting at the head. Like a zombie, because it definitely doesn't look, well, you know, human at all. It definitely looks like it's artificially made. And so, he starts shooting at the head. As, well, Izumi would say this, "Wait, how the hell does he know its weakness?" As it shoots the head, specifically the brain, as the Nomu was killed. As Izumi, instead of being angry like Shigaraki in the anime, she just smiles, as she would say this, "Good work, not Izuku, god damn it. Good work, Hajime. But it seems that our time is over. So, other villains in the USJ, it's time for you all to retreat, because it seems that the Nomu has been destroyed, as all of the villains were teleported away. And so, for, well, Konagiri, he leaves alone. As for, well, Izumi, she would bow as she would say this: I hope to see you again, Izuku. Not Izuku, I meant, Hajime. She would say that, as she would leave and teleport away. So, as everybody was panting, saying, that was, a terrifying fight, they hear the sound of footsteps, as they see All Might and the rest of the UN teachers, as they would say this: young Midori, young students, Hajime, the Bakugo, are you okay? As they would see that they're completely fine. I mean, Hajime feels like he's literally been to hell and back, but still, as everybody was told to go to the, well, to outside, because they're gonna be going to the hospital to check if they, have wounds or anything like that. And so, everybody started leaving the USJ, but two figures were watching. These two figures seemed to be wearing almost royal clothing. One of them would say this: so, Mobster, these people are quite pathetic, right? As he would say this: yeah, damn quirk users. It makes me sick how they believe themselves as powerful. But unfortunately, hell is gonna be conquering this place, this dimension. And this place is gonna know fear. Fear towards the Empire. The Empire of Hell, Heaven, and the Monster Realm. And they will know how it feels to be weak. Especially that All Might. And that other Bakugo. I especially like torturing my own Bakugo. Especially because, you know, he did literally tell me to jump off the roof and swan dive into the floor where I die. But, thanks to Mistress Lavenza, I was reborn. Right, Neo? As Neo would say this: yes, just like that, Mobster. As he would say this: after all, we are the Infernity Knights, Hell's best elites, and we will take down this world and conquer it. Just like what Lavenza says, those that have quirks are monsters. Just like my world back in the day. How before I became an Infernity Knight, I was tortured by Bakugo, told that I was weak. Now, let's go, Neo, before anybody can see us. As she would say this: right, Mobster. As they get teleported, specifically, a gate type thing appears, resembling a door, like a blue-ish door, but with skulls, chains, and seems to have this symbol that is basically like my brand new profile picture for my channel. So, they basically go in, as he would say this: now, this society is gonna be changed when we reveal ourselves. Hell, Heaven, and the Monster World is gonna be taking over this and maybe turning it into another mining world. Or maybe even a world for slavery. But only for quirk users. But the quirkless, they get the profit. As he laughs. As he leaves smiling, with a blue mask resembling a bird, wearing a crown and fine suit resembling a mobster, like mobster attire. And so, he leaves, going into that door. So, this is going to be the end of this episode. And all of you are wondering, who the hell is this person? And who the hell is this mobster person and this Neo person? Don't worry, I will explain in due time, but unfortunately this is going to be the end of the episode. And so, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!